It's midnight and you're watching Nightline with me, Adrian Seet. The headlines. PSD scholarships for medical, dental, pharmacy fields to continue. And non-attendance of SPM candidates, education to probe factors. Thanks for joining us. The Public Service Department, PSD, will continue to offer scholarships for students pursuing studies in medicine, dentistry and pharmacy. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim said the decision was made because there are still demands in these sectors within the country based on current projections.
Sejak itu, minggu lalu, saya ada perjumpaan khas dengan JPA. Dan mereka mengatakan itu dasar yang sedia ada, dasar yang lalu. Ya. Dan saya telah minta supaya ini dikaji semula berdasarkan unjuran kita, keperluan sektor perubatan, pergigian dan farmasi itu masih ada. Jadi maknanya program beasiswa JPA untuk sektor ini akan diteruskan.
Datuk Sri Anwar said this during the Temu Anwar at USM program at Dewan Tuanku Said Putra University Science Malaysia USM in Jelutong, Pulau Pinang on Sunday. He was responding to a question from one of the students regarding the government's decision to halt sponsorships in those fields. On Saturday, the PSD had decided to stop sponsoring students pursuing these fields following a study by the Health Ministry, who projected an oversupply of medical officers from 2026 to 2030. However, its Minister Dr. Zaliha Mustafa said that her ministry was prepared to review the study that was conducted in 2019 due to several changes, especially after the post-COVID-19 pandemic. At the same event, Datuk Sri Anwar stressed that Malaysia's leaders must speak with knowledge when making statements on any issue. The Prime Minister, who was referring to claims that Pulau Pinang belongs to Kedah, said history has been written about the changes that took place during the formation of the Federation of Malaya and it should be respected.
Jadi, read. Kalau nak jadi pimpinan, lebih-lebih lagi mencabar. Jangan main suara politik picisan. Guna ilmu dan selamatkan rakyat.
Datuk Sri Anwar also emphasised that leaders need to be well-read because little knowledge is dangerous and half-truth is an absolute lie. On May 29th, Kedah Menteri Besar Datuk Sri Muhammad Sanusi Mat Noor was reported to have said that Kedah and Pulau Pinang did not have a border because Pulau Pinang still belongs to Kedah, claiming further that Kedah only shares a border with Perak and Perlis. At a separate event, Datuk Sri Anwar urged Penanganites to retain PH leaders who he said have been governing the state well. The Prime Minister emphasised his good relationship with Chief Minister Chow Kon Yeow and assured that the federal unity government will continue to assist Pulau Pinang in resolving state-related issues.
Jadi mintalah Pulau Pinang ni kukuh. Saya hubungan dengan Ketua Menteri rapat. Apa-apa yang kita boleh selesaikan peringkat pusat, selesai pusat, peringkat negeri kita buat peringkat negeri. Jadi kita kena jaga, jangan main soal musuh.
Datuk Sri Anwar said this during a meet and greet session with residents at the Balik Pulau Night Market on Sunday. He also dismissed previous claims that his leadership would negatively impact the Malays or religious schools, highlighting that such accusations were proven false. The Education Ministry, MOE, is probing the factors that led to the non-attendance of over 14,000 Sijil Pelajaran Malaysia SPM candidates on their examination day. Its Minister Fadlina Siddiq said the move was taken to enable the ministry to make appropriate interventions to ensure better student attendance in future SPM examinations. Fadlina said her ministry would need time to examine the factors that led to the students' failure to sit for the SPM examination. The ministry will then determine whether the matter is a concern or not, based on the findings obtained before it can carry out the appropriate interventions. She also said the issue involved not just students from schools under the ministry, but also private candidates as well. Fadlina said this in response to a report which stated that a total of 14,858, or 3.8%, of the 388,832 candidates who had registered for the 2022 SPM did not attend the examination. Based on an analysis by the MOE, the number was also higher compared to the 2021 SPM, which recorded 10,681 absentees out of a total of 392,837 registered candidates. Malaysia and Indonesia have agreed to discuss the European Union EU's discriminatory trade practices against palm oil at the ASEAN level. Deputy Prime Minister Dato Sri Fadillah Yusof said this is part of the ongoing joint effort between both countries to fight any unjust practices against the agri-commodity sector in the two nations.
Kelapa sawit kita tanam hari ini dia boleh berlanjutan untuk 25 tahun. Mana kos kita lebih rendah. Jadi untuk tingkatkan untuk mereka bersaing, dia kena perkenalkan banyak perkara bagi kita yang boleh menyebabkan kos bisnes kita lebih mahal.
Dato Sri Fadillah, who is also Plantation and Commodities Minister, said this to reporters after attending a discussion program on rubber in Kampung Caruk Goro in Kedah on Sunday. He also said that Malaysia and Indonesia would continue ongoing engagements with the EU to defend the palm oil industry following the implementation of the European Union Deforestation-Free Regulation (EUDR). He added that a senior EU official will be visiting both countries next week, and it is to ensure that any guidelines issued by the EU must only be done after taking into account the views of both nations. The visit is also a follow-up to the Malaysia-Indonesia Joint Trade Mission to the EU last month to defend the palm oil industry, which was led by Dato Sri Fadillah and Indonesian Coordinating Minister for Economic Affairs, Dr. Erlangga Hartarto. The government has set a target of 100% home ownership by Malaysians. Local Government Development Minister Nga Kor Ming said so far 76.9% of Malaysians already own a house. According to Nga, the move to continue offering the 100% stamp duty exemption for the purchase of property priced below 500,000 ringgit for first-time house buyers is expected to help more Malaysians own a house. He also urged developers to take advantage of the initiative, which will continue until 2025, to promote their residential properties. On Friday, the Finance Ministry announced that first-time house buyers will continue to enjoy the 100% stamp duty exemption via the I Miliki Home Ownership Initiative. Under the same scheme, a 75% stamp duty exemption will be given for first-time home ownership for houses priced between 500,000 and 1 million ringgit. The stamp duty exemption applies to sale and purchase agreements executed between June 1st, 2022 and December 31st this year. Dato' Ahmad Yaakob will announce the date for the dissolution of the State Legislative Assembly to pave the way for the state elections on Wednesday. The Kelantan Menteri Besar said the announcement would be made after the State Executive Council meeting at the Kota Darul Naim complex in Kota Baru. Dato' Ahmad admitted that many quarters, including the people of Kelantan, were waiting for him to announce the date, as some states were said to have set the date for the dissolution of their respective state assemblies. He added that during the EXCO meeting, they will also discuss on the matters, including preparations to face the state polls. Kelantan PAS Secretary Wan Roslan Wan Muhammad also confirmed the matter to reporters on Sunday.
MB akan maklumlah sebab dia sedang berurusan dengan pihak istana dan tuanku. Jadi insya-Allah bagaimana yang MB sebut dia akan maklumkanlah bila-bila dalam tempoh yang terdekat ni.
He added that seat negotiations have been finalised with PAS, set to defend its 37 seats, while Bersatu will defend 1 and contest in the remaining 7 currently held by Barisan Nasional. Sources said the Menteri Besar would most likely choose either June 24th or June 27th, which is the last date for the current State Assembly term, as the date for the dissolution of the State Assembly. Previously, Pulau Pinang Chief Minister Chow Kon Yao reportedly said the State Legislative Assembly would be dissolved on June 28th. Meanwhile, Selangor Pakatan Harapan PHMBN have yet to reach an agreement on 3 of the 56 state seats that will be contested in the state elections. Menteri Besar Datuk Sri Amiruddin Shari, who is also Selangor PH chairman, said due to this, they will leave the matter to the central leadership to decide. However, he declined to name the contentious seats, adding that he wanted to avoid any misunderstanding. On when the Legislative Assembly would be dissolved to pave the way for state polls, Datuk Sri Amiruddin only briefly said one day in June. Selangor, along with 5 other states, did not dissolve their assemblies for the 15th general election last year. The Selangor State Assembly will automatically be dissolved on June 25th, and the state election must be held within 60 days. The Sultan of Johor, Sultan Ibrahim Ibni Almarhum Sultan Iskandar, made history after securing the FF1 plate number with a record bid of 1.2 million ringgit, making it the most expensive license plate ever issued for a single vehicle in Malaysia. The registration number belongs to a new number sequence for Putrajaya. The news was shared on Sultan Ibrahim's official Facebook account on Sunday. Transport Minister Anthony Look Siew Fook presented the special number plate to Sultan Ibrahim during an audience with the ruler. Look on his social media page said Sultan Ibrahim agreed to pay 1.2 million ringgit for the license plate, which also brings the amount collected for the FF series to 35.4 million ringgit. It was previously reported that the highest bid for the series was the FF8 plate that fetched 950,000 ringgit. Sultan Ibrahim is no stranger to winning bids for fancy number plates. In 2016, he successfully secured the F1 license plate with a winning bid of 836,660 ringgit. When we come back, several killed in police station attacks. Stay with us. Torrential rain coupled with strong winds and thunderstorms have killed at least 27 people and injured 140 others in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province in northwest Pakistan. According to the authorities, 4 districts included Banu, Dikan, Laki Marwat and Karak have been declared a state of emergency due to the casualties. It was believed that the deaths were caused by the collapse of walls and roofs in various parts of the province, as a total of 69 houses were damaged so far. People were also urged to stay away from shorelines as Cyclone Biparjoy is heading towards the coastal areas of Pakistan and India. The forecast noted that gusty winds are expected in central or southern districts of the country on Sunday and Monday afternoon. Over in Vietnam, 16 suspects have been seized for their alleged involvement in an armed group attack that killed and injured several people on Sunday in the Central Highlands region. According to the Ministry of Public Security, the attacks took place at the police headquarters of both Ia Tiao and Ia Ketur communes, killing and injuring a number of policemen, commune officials and locals, but did not provide exact figures. 16 people have now been detained in connection to the attacks, and relevant forces are now hunting for other members of the group. The forces have also rescued 2 of the 3 local people held hostage in the fatal armed attack, while the third managed to escape from the armed attackers on his own. Gun violence is extremely uncommon in Vietnam, where it is illegal for citizens to own firearms, and the black market for weapons is limited. Donald Trump on Saturday used the first public appearance since his federal indictment to ratchet up attacks on the Justice Department. The former U.S. president accused prosecutors of a politically motivated campaign to keep him from the White House.
The ridiculous and baseless indictment of me by the Biden administration's weaponized Department of Injustice will go down as among the most horrific abuses of power in the history of our country. As far as the joke of an indictment, it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing for this country. I mean, the only good thing about it is it's driven my poll numbers way up. Can you believe this?
Speaking at a Republican state convention in Georgia, Trump also vowed to continue running for president, even if he was to be convicted as part of the 37-count federal felony indictment that was issued against him this week. However, he repeatedly invoked the Presidential Records Act to assert that he had done nothing wrong and predicted that he would not be convicted at all. Whilst Trump is not legally prohibited from running for president from prison or as a convicted felon, such a bid would nevertheless provide a massive stress test for the U.S. political and legal systems. Taiwan's Air Force scrambled into action on Sunday after spotting 10 Chinese warplanes crossing the sensitive median line of the Taiwan Straits. In a short statement, Taiwan's Defense Ministry said as of 2 p.m. local time, it had detected 24 Chinese Air Force planes, 10 of which had crossed the median line of the Taiwan Straits. The ministry added that 4 Chinese naval ships were also engaged in joint combat readiness patrol. In response, Taiwan sent up its own fighters and deployed ships and land-based missile systems to keep watch. This is the second time in less than a week that Taiwan has reportedly renewed Chinese military activity after 37 Chinese military aircraft on Thursday flew into the island's air defense zone, some of which then flew into the Western Pacific. On to sports. Tennis. The 2023 French Open. The men's singles final between Novak Djokovic and Casper Ruud is underway, with Djokovic winning the first 2 sets. The third-seeded Serbian took the opening set with a 7-6 victory in 81 minutes before he clinched the second set 6-3. As of now, Djokovic is leading the third set 6-5. Djokovic is a win away from breaking the men's Grand Slam record and will become the first man to reach 23 major titles if he beats Ruud. In the women's event, world number 1 Iga Swiatek captured her third French Open singles title and second in a row at Roland Garros following a roller coaster victory over Karolina Muchova. Top seed Swiatek overcame a second set crisis and a third set deficit to beat the unseeded Karolina Muchova 6-2, 5-7, 6-4 in a 3 hours and 49 minutes match. Muchova struggled to find her rhythm in the opening set, but recovered from a break down in the second to steal 5 of 6 games on her way to levelling at 1 set all. The 22-year-old Pole, however, fought back harder and claimed the last 3 games of the match. Swiatek's third win in Paris put her level with greats and modern-day 3-time champions Serena Williams, Monica Seles and Arantxa Sánchez Vicario. Coming up after the break, a herd of elephants destroys school. Stay with us. Two men have been remanded until next Wednesday to assist investigations by authorities for allegedly attempting to dispose toxic waste illegally at a palm oil plantation in Kluang, Johor. The suspects, aged 20 and 30, were nabbed last Thursday when an enforcement team from the State Department of Environment raided the illegal dump site at Kampung Sri Timur 3. State Department of Environment Director Dr. Muhammad Fahmi Yusof said that both men, a lorry driver and his attendant, were leaving the dump site when they were arrested at 9:45 p.m. following a public complaint. Preliminary investigations revealed that the scheduled waste was obtained from a factory in the vicinity of Kluang and temporarily stored in a warehouse located 10 kilometers away from the dump site. The illicit activities were believed to have been ongoing for the past 3 to 4 weeks.
Siasatan awal kita dapati terdapatnya minyak terpakai, kemungkinan minyak pyrolysis. Kemudian kita lihat juga ada buangan sludge, ya, dan juga tar, sludge paint, cat, ya, dan pelbagai beberapa jenis buangan terjadual, bukan satu saja.
Dr. Fahmi further said that 9 samples have been collected for analysis by the chemistry department. His department is also investigating the owner and status of the land used as the illegal dump site. Over in Perak, a herd of 6 elephants barged into Sekolah Kebangsaan Pos Powo near Lasa Sungai Siput, leaving behind a trail of destruction. State Perhilitan Director Yusof Sharif said the elephants were believed to have entered the school compound through a small fence near the preschool classroom building before causing damage to the school's property. The incident took place at 2 a.m. on Wednesday, but no casualties involving humans were reported. It was understood that the wild mammals caused extensive damage to the windows, classrooms and kitchen equipment. Several members of the Elephant Action Unit were then deployed to the scene after being notified and chased the elephants back to the forest by firing several shots in the air. According to Yusof, the herd was believed to have wandered out of their natural habitat in search of food. It was also learned that this was the second time the elephants attacked the school this year. The first incident happened in April, resulting in damage to the back fence of the school and the wall of a classroom. Police arrested an 11-year-old boy and his 49-year-old father on Sunday after a video of the boy driving his father's car along Jalan Banting Pandamaran in Klang went viral on social media. South Klang District Police Chief ACP Cha Hung Fung said the duo were arrested at a house in Pandamaran at 1:15 p.m. on Sunday after police received the video clip. Now, the father and his son were then taken to the South Klang Traffic Police Station for further investigation under the Road Transport Act for underage driving as well as conspiring or allowing the commissioning of an offence. The case is also being investigated under the Child Act for neglecting or exposing a child that might result in physical or emotional harm. In the 1-minute, 20-second long viral video, the boy was seen driving a silver Proton Saga on a busy road by himself at around 6 p.m. on Friday, while several children believed to be his friends looked on. And here's an update on the French Open men's singles final clash between Novak Djokovic and Casper Ruud. Djokovic claimed his third Roland Garros title after clinching a 7-6, 6-3, 7-5 win. With that, Nightline comes to a close this time around. As we wrap up, let's take a look at 32 people with disabilities in Jordan participating in the Project Inclusive Runway that promotes the importance of accessibility and equal opportunities for all. With that, I'm Adrian Seet. Thank you for joining us and take care, Malaysia.